Hello. Welcome back to the second part on personal boundaries. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Anastasia Zatula. I am a Master NLP, Reiki Master, and I love to work with feminine energy. And for anybody's development, personal boundaries are very important. And that's why I have this, I decided to do this few videos and explain everything you need to know about personal boundaries, about why we even thinking about this, why this topic is so hot, why so many people trying to protect their boundaries, why is even that's so important in our life. And in the first video, in the first part, I explained why do we want to socialize with people but yet keep them kind of on a distance, and why the subject about personal boundaries even come up in our life. Now in this video I will explain how do you abuse your boundaries based on your dominant energy, what could be your faults, and what can you do about that. And I will explain what are healthy and unhealthy boundaries. And in the third video I will go through the steps of how to create personal boundaries in your life and around you yourself, and how to protect your aura. All right, so let's get to it. I'm not going to waste time. So depending on your dominant energy, you will either dominate somebody's energy or you will be dominated. It is normal. So if you're dominantly in a masculine energy, then you will invade somebody's space. And then you will be kind of shocked why people are trying to avoid you when you want to socialize. If you are mostly in feminine energy, then you will be dominated and you will try to hide from people. Usually extroverts are people in masculine energy, introverts are people in feminine energy. Now, how to know whether you're in masculine energy? Well, if you have a lot of placements in fire or air. So if you have a lot of placements in Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, Aquarius, you're masculine. Your energy is dominantly masculine. If you have a lot of placements in all the rest, the Taurus, Pisces, Capricorn, Scorpio, Virgo, Cancer, then you're dominantly feminine. So if you usually this is what happens with masculine energy, they are looking for resources outside. So unfortunately, people of masculine energy could not create the resources inside as the feminine energy can. For that, watch my other videos, but I already explained that. So masculine energy is outside, feminine energy is inside. Ideally, if a feminine woman and masculine man are together, they create this power couple, because she provides the strength from the inside, he provides the strength from the outside. But if I'm on my own and I'm masculine, where should I get those resources? I will go and I will try to get the resources from others. This is normal. Men throughout centuries are conquering lands. They're trying to grab somebody's resources. I mean, this is just how masculinity works. It's normal. So usually it's lands, money, resources, and energy as well. All of it is energy. So what usually masculine people have in common? They have difficulties getting people into their space. Like, they have to be proactive. They need to kind of invite people. They need to gather people. They need to kind of get. They need to go and get the energy. And sometimes they could be very lonely because not too many people want to socialize with them on a closer level, because they would have to share the energy with them. Usually they would buy the energy with something, with either money or through some kind of connections or something like that. And this is normal. They can easily, they have the resources, so they can buy the energy. So when a man is paying a woman for her company, it is normal actually. He basically exchanged one type of energy for a second type of energy that she can give him. Now, if you are feminine energy, you will unconsciously protect your energy. Why? Because feminine energy is receiving and empathetic, and because it's and because it's so receiving and empathetic, anybody can just step all over it if it's not, if it doesn't protect the energy, if it doesn't protect it correctly, if it's not strong enough to protect. So you shouldn't like mind to share the energy, because feminine, for example, I'm a feminine woman, I can create energy inside of me, it's easy for me, I don't mind to share it with others, but I wouldn't be sharing it just with everybody, otherwise I will be exhausted. I share it with people that contribute to my life, for example with men, with my clients. So I share my energy, but I share because I'm getting something in, or with my friends that are highly that are respecting my energy very, very much, and they are very careful when they socialize with me. They don't kind of push me to do what I don't want to do. They never kind of abuse my time. They always know when enough is enough, and I don't mind to share that energy with them. But again, often when especially when feminine energy people don't have enough energy, they try to hide from others. They try to stay inside, to be by themselves, try to recuperate, try to hibernate to get some energy back. But again, we can't be hiding from people all the time, especially when those people are your loved ones, when it's your husband or your kids, or your best friends or your relatives or your parents. You cannot hide from them. You need to learn how to have healthy boundaries. All right, so what are the unhealthy boundaries? First, unhealthy boundaries is very easy, and if you have 3 or more, then that's that's you. So you can't say no when you feel like you have to. If you cannot say no, this is like the biggest indicator that you don't have healthy boundaries. You see, a self-sufficient person has no problem saying no. If I don't like something, I'll say it. Yeah, I'm not going to be rude and aggressive about it, but I will put my point across. I mean, that's just, so again, but it has to be genuine. If I will be saying no just because my ego is hurting or something, that's a different question, a different kind of subject. The second indicator is you feel like everybody is using you, and I felt it a long time ago. I felt like I was such an empath. I would help everybody, and then I would come home all exhausted, and I'm like, people are just using me. Then why are you even going offering help? Why are you helping others? I mean, you don't have to do this. So if you feel like people are using you, like they're too much, then this is a huge indicator. Another one is you avoid people. If you really avoid people and you notice that you don't want to see people most of the time, this is a problem, a huge problem. You tend to overshare personal information for no reason, in hopes that maybe you will bond with people like this. These are usually masculine ladies. For some reason, they feel like oversharing will bring them closer to others. They could also ask for more questions just to bond with them. Men usually do that. So if you have a man who's just asking you questions non-stop, he's just trying to bond and to get some kind of energy out of you. You don't have to play that game. So if so this is also an indicator that the boundaries are weak. Usually you don't need to ask 1,000 questions to bond with somebody. Honestly, you don't even need to speak to a person to bond with them. Another one is people pleasing. If you're constantly trying to please others, I mean this is pretty obvious, but I have to kind of say, if you are thinking about the priorities of others ahead of your own, I mean, this is just the really indicator. If you codependency also, if you depend on others for either approval, validation, this is for masculine ladies and masculine men. If you need some kind of validation, some kind of approval, if you are feminine, woman or man, you need some kind of support, security. If you depend on others, this is also shows that your boundaries are weak. You will tolerate unwelcome behavior because you think you depend on other people. Even if it's not material things. Again, if you like need validation. I remember I had a friend, she was a Leo. That's if she wouldn't get like a whole bunch of compliments, her night is just ruined. I mean, and I even told her it must be really hard to be you, because I don't know how I would live like this. But this was just it was her life. And I remember one time we were at this lounge, and she bought a group of people drinks just so they would praise her. I mean, but I mean, she has the resources. That's exactly what I'm saying. When masculine energy has the resources, they can buy the other type of energy. So in her case, it was validation. All right. So another one is probably like people pleasing. You put the needs of others ahead of your own. So this is very important. I mean, if you ever do something because you think that their wishes and desires are more important than yours, a huge red flag, huge indicator that your borders are just like non-existent. You are not even protecting your borders. Just imagine, how can others help you and not overstep your borders if you are not even protecting them? All right. Accepting inappropriate behavior. I mean, this is without even mentioning this, but if you, especially if it's physical abuse or emotional abuse and you're just accepting it, I mean, there is no borders at all, honestly. It's really bad. The problem here is that most of these people, they grew up like this. For them, it's a pattern. It's an absolutely normal behavior. So if I will tell them, this is not right and you can live differently, often they wouldn't be even able to live differently. And you probably know that when a woman that is that got hit by a man gets into a different relationship and the other man is also doing the same thing, it's really very sad story. And why does it happen? Probably because the parents were punishing or abusing the child. So but this is a huge indicator, and if you are living in this kind of environment and you feel like it's normal, this is even a bigger red flag. All right. So, and the last one I would say is no vision, no limits. This happens when I would say no defined limits, I would say even like that, because that happens when you are not sure what is allowed and what is not. So if I'm going on a date and let's say I have these rules, I don't, but let's say I don't kiss on the first date. And so I give a hug and the guy wants to kiss and he kisses me. All right, so if I have my limits, I shouldn't be allowing him to kiss me. Again, I don't have this. I think this is kind of silly, but I know women that do have them. And then when a man oversteps their kind of limits, they get upset. But it's because you don't have them strong enough. That's what happens. So usually this happens when a person is not sure about what they want in life, how they want in life. They allow others dictate for them what they want or what they don't want. Like it happened to me a few weeks ago. I don't know. I was in one of this kind of blah moods. It doesn't happen to me often, but sometimes it happens. And somebody wrote to me, "Hey, you want to go for breakfast?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I went for breakfast, and I was in blah mood already. And so he ordered something that I didn't want to eat, and it was just all blah, because I started with blah. I didn't know what exactly I want for that day. I didn't exactly knew what I want to eat even. So it was all, I mean, how could I blame the guy that he overstepped his boundaries and he ordered me what I don't want to eat if I didn't know what I wanted to eat? So this is what happens. I mean, the person that knows exactly what they want, how they want, and by what time they want, they wouldn't have this kind of problem. So the limits are important. Okay, these were unhealthy boundaries. Now, what are the healthy boundaries? Finally, after after 15 minutes of talking, what are the healthy boundaries? All right, the healthy boundaries, and I'm telling you, as a person who went from unhealthy boundaries, thanks God my boundaries were never that unhealthy. I mean, I never was abused, or I never tolerated much. So, but still, I did had pretty weak boundaries, and I went to very healthy boundaries, and the life is just so much brighter, honestly. All right, so what are the healthy boundaries? You are not bothered by anything, like to the point at all, basically, and usually in your life nothing happens that can bother you. So you are not bothered by what somebody says, how somebody behaves, by the problems of others, by somebody complaining to you, but like nothing bothers you. You're absolutely neutral. Like it's just some kind of all this noise is just like clouds. They go pass by you and just go go ahead and or behind somewhere. So you are not bothered. You just let it happen. Everything is just moving around you. The second one is I think it's pretty obvious, but nobody touches you physically and emotionally unless you want to. People won't even have such emotion, even have this kind of idea that they can touch you. I mean, don't take me wrong. Obviously, if you are, let's say, with your man and inside you do want him to touch you, right, to hug you, and you're like, no, 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 you're kind of playing a game. That's a different thing. I'm talking about like a true physical touch, true abuse. So nobody will ever even like get close to you in line. Like, for example, I will tell you, I had this thing. I couldn't stand when somebody stays too close to me in line. Like somebody who could be, like, if there is people behind me and they would be breathing in my neck, I will go like crazy. Right now, I never get anybody who would stay too close to me. Like it's like people feel I don't know, and that they shouldn't be too close to me, and obviously nobody's touching me or physically or not physically. So that's just it. You will see it, you will feel it. I even remember I was a couple of weeks ago in one cafe, and it was really busy, and I was staying in line to get coffee, and everybody was like this, like really packed like sardines in that line, and I'm like, okay, I'm not staying there. But then I'm like, okay, fine, it will be fast, and I'm sure the line moves fast. So I got in line, I stayed there, and I'm like, I stayed maybe for a couple of minutes, and I realized that there is nobody behind me, there's no more people that coming in, and the people in front of me, they kind of start moving very fast. So once I got my my coffee and whatever I was getting there, I went and I took a table, and I was just observing. I saw how fast the line started packing up again. So again, I don't want to say that I'm such a magician, but I knew that nobody would get too close to me. I was like, I was set on that. So this is what happens when you have healthy boundaries. Your aura basically doesn't allow anybody in. It's that strong, and that's just what happens. You easily say yes or no with no kind of guilt. You say yes with excitement. You say no with just neutrality. That's how it should be. You see, when you have healthy boundaries, you're open to saying yes more often, because you're not afraid that something would go wrong or not your way. And you say no without any kind of guilt. You are seriously self-centered, seriously self-focused. There couldn't be no guilt when you choose yourself. All right, you don't have any kind of desire to prove anything to anybody or to argue. I remember I was such if I don't prove my point, but right now I really don't care. I mean, okay, so if somebody wants to say this or not. I live over here on the street, and it has like orange trees. I'm pretty sure these are oranges, but the neighbor here said no, they are not oranges. So I'm like, okay, I didn't, like, me before I would get one, I would open it, I would try to eat it, I would try to find out or prove to herself or to myself that it is an orange, looks like orange. I mean, the leaves looks like orange, everything looks like orange. I'm even looking at them right now, but she said they are not oranges. So whatever. I mean, not oranges, not oranges. So like this, you are absolutely unbothered by anything. You don't want to prove anything to anybody. Another one, you don't feel like you owe anybody. You don't feel like you owe anybody any time, any resources, anything. So it's not only about the money. It's about your energy, your resources, your time. You don't owe anybody anything. And I already told you many times in other videos, you only owe to one person. This is your child until the age of maturity, and all you owe is the house, food, and medical kind of medical expenses and the education. That's it. So anybody else, you don't owe them nothing. You don't owe nothing to your parents. Please throw it out of your head. You don't owe nothing to your partner, obviously, unless you want to. You don't owe anything to anybody. And this is not only about money. You need to remember this. It's not only about money. It's about time. It's about energy. It's about stuff like that. All right. And when you have strong boundaries, you don't feel like you owe anything. You feel like everything is just perfect. Another one is you welcome new acquaintances and you appreciate the people that are in your life. So you are open to kind of to communicating, to socializing. You really want to be with people. You don't want to be with people all the time because you are not dependent on them, but you welcome them when they come. You are okay with making new acquaintances. You are okay with kind of socializing with your kind of old friends, all the people in your life, and you welcome and you feel excited about them. You know that they will add value and they are not taking nothing from you, none of your resources, none of your energy, none of your, basically connecting like two balls of energy, helping each other out and just moving on your way like this. On the other hand, you are welcoming other people, but you are not stuck in their problems, not stuck in their life, not stuck in their aura. So this is also important. All right, another one, you have no difficulty expressing your feelings or whatever that bothers you or you don't like. So, and not only not what bothers you, but also what you truly feel. Like, when was it? I think it was in February. I told you that a friend of mine has a daughter and she's a teenager, and she wrote for Valentine's Day, she wrote the guy that she likes exactly how she feels. She wrote to him, I really like you, are really amazed how good you are, and this and this and this. She was not afraid to be vulnerable. She wrote what he wrote to her the same thing. He wrote what he likes about her. What I want to say is, yes, they're a different generation and they're still very gullible, so to say, but when you have strong boundaries, you're not afraid to tell people. Like, for example, if I like a man, I can tell him I like you. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be with him, but I'm not afraid to tell him, and I'm not afraid that he will abuse now this knowledge, that now because I told him I like him, he's going to use me and leave me. No, I don't feel like this. I feel like he will appreciate, and I like that I told him that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So so you have no problems saying this. Now, if somebody does something to you, something not welcoming, then you wouldn't have any problem to tell them that, obviously, and you wouldn't be thinking about it for days like me before. I remember if somebody would hurt me verbally, usually, I would think about this. I would prepare myself how to tell them about that. I could think for like months until I would finally express how I feel about that, and the person is shocked because they already forgot. They already forgot that it even happened. So right now I can tell, I can express my feelings right away. Yeah, I get emotional. I could get emotional, but I would express my feelings. I wouldn't wait for days for that. All right, and the last one. Well, last on my list, but probably not last. You are truly open to new experiences and to new opportunities in life. You see, when you don't have very strong borders, you often skip on opportunities and skip on new experiences, because you're afraid that those new experiences might um, um, might not contribute to you, but might take from you. Like for example, I will tell you, I haven't traveled for a long time when I first moved to United States. Why? Because my borders were very weak, and I was afraid that if I travel, it would really put me in the financial difficulties. I thought it was very expensive. To my shock, I went to Mexico a few years after, and I was shocked how affordable it was. Now, with my boundaries so strong, I'm open to opportunities. I'm open to possibilities, and I'm not talking only about traveling obviously, but I'm okay to start something new, to experience something new, to invest into some new. Like before, I would invest only in EFTs or in bonds. Right now, I'm okay investing in stocks, to take the risk. In real estate, also somewhat risky. So you become more open to the experiences, because you stop worrying about whether your space is abused or not. All right, this is it for this part. Analyze your kind of your boundaries, see where you're standing on, and in the next video we're going to talk about what to do to actually have the strong boundaries, to build the strong boundaries. I also wanted to mention a little advertising. Don't forget that I do have a course on femininity. So if you need to work on your femininity, it has energetic exercises, Tao practices. Please do get it and start practicing them. I also have another course on money, an ultimate guide to wealth. It is really work with mind and energy, and if you have issues with money, with abundance, if you could not build a healthy relationship with money, this course is for you. So do please get it and start working on that. They are both on Udemy, so it will be very, very easy to navigate. All right, I will see you in the next video. The next video will be about how to the steps that you need to take to actually have the healthy boundaries, and I'll see you then.